Hey lovelies, thanks for stopping by my channel today. I am excited for today's video, which is sort of a little bonus BYOP. If if you saw my video last Thursday, you will realize that I don't know how to read a calendar, and I put up my monthly BYOP a week early. So Kara from Beauty and the Frizz and I started a BYOP series almost 2 years ago now, and every month, on the last Thursday of the month, we upload a themed BYOP along with some other great creators, and I did mine a week early this month. So everybody else's video is going to be up today if I was able to get this edited and up in time. So since I put that video up prematurely, I wanted to have another BYOP to share with you. And this is actually an idea that I've had kind of stewing in my brain for a while now. So what I'm sharing with you today in this video is going to be my perfect companion palette. The palette that I have cultivated to have on hand to be able to go with every other palette. You know, there are those times that there are shades that you're like missing. You're like, ooh, if only I had a little bit of this and a little bit of that to go along with this palette, it would make the perfect palette. So that's what I'm sharing today. If you do want to see the March BYOP, I will make sure to have that linked down below. I'll also make sure to throw in everybody's palettes from this month, the people that put it up on the right day. I'll make sure to have that link down below as well. But this month was a pick-me-up palette, so I'll make sure to have that down below. But today, it's going to be all about the companion palette. So before we do a deep dive into this palette, if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist. And here on my channel, I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Today, we're gonna go ahead and dive into this palette. I'm gonna, of course, share with you swatches. I am going to let you know what it is that I usually find that I'm always looking for in a palette, or I'm always reaching for outside of a palette that I have. I think that I am honestly going to keep all of these shades right in here and have it ready on the go to be able to just pull out and use with any other palette. And also, as a little bonus in today's video, I'm very excited to be sharing with you my 2 brand new shades with Pretties for your face. I am so incredibly excited that Meg reached out to me and let me know that I was going to be able to create another shade, and we actually ended up doing 2. So I'm going to share those with you today because they do go perfectly into this companion palette, which probably isn't a surprise since they're shades that I created. They're ones that I always like to have on hand. I have one of them on my Fa-gee right now, and you'll be able to see that because I am going to share with you how I got this look using just this palette. Like I said, this palette is really meant to go along with other palettes, but it does make a pretty palette on its own. So do you want to see my companion palette? Here it is right here. Again, this is a palette I think that's really pretty on its own, but it is meant to be able to go with all the other palettes in my collection. It has the things that I seem to be looking for a lot, the things that I think that are missing. And of course, we have 2 new shades, 2 that haven't even been launched yet. I think if I am able to get this video up on Thursday, Meg said that she was going to try to get these shades up on the site on Friday, but I will let you know further details down in the comments, so check there. Otherwise, you can always follow me on Instagram. I'm sure I will be letting everyone know as soon as they're available. I will also be sharing with you how I got today's look. It is just strictly using this palette. This is actually a very comprehensive palette, I believe, but it is really meant to go with other palettes as well. But why not have a palette that you can use on its own, right? Your companion palette shouldn't have to have a companion palette. All right, can you tell I'm excited? I feel like I'm getting giddy, so let's go ahead and get into these swatches. All right, swatch party time. I'm really hoping that I'm gonna be able to have enough real estate on my arm here to share all these shades. This is a 12-pan palette. I feel like I'm kind of cheating because usually for the BYOP series, we do 10 shades, but technically this is a bonus one, y'all. This is a bonus one and I can do what I want. It's my channel. And of course, I will be sharing with you those 2 new Pretties for your face shades. So just to keep the anticipation going, at least I hope you're in anticipation. I know I am, just to be able to share these shades with you. But just to keep that going, I'm gonna hold those off until the end of this. Those will be the last 2 shades that I swatch. So let's go ahead and start out with 2 of the shades that I feel like I'm always looking to reach for and that maybe aren't in all palettes. Number 1 is going to be a great black. A lot of palettes don't have a black in them, and sometimes the ones that do don't have a great black in them. So that is going to be what we're starting out with. I'm going to share with you Karma from Devinah. Now I've used this one a lot in my BYOPs, I do believe, but it is one of my faves. So I do think I'm just going to keep this one in here. It sort of breaks my heart to sort of like take it away from its other pretty Devinah friends, but I just know that I'll get a lot of use out of it. Now, this is not by any means the most perfect swatch, because I'm using my left hand to do this, my non-dominant hand, but this arm has more real estate on it. So Karma is great because I find that it is really rich. You can really build it up. You can also blur it out into more of a charcoal shade. I did actually just blur that out quite a bit, so I'm just gonna take another pass. I was trying to like get a perfect swatch and just basically like blended it out a little bit more. It's still not a perfect swatch. Hello, wrist bone. We're ruining the party. Anyway, there is Karma. Wow, that's a lot of Karma right there. So the other shade that I want to share with you is actually another Devinah matte. And these two were actually my first two Devinah mattes that I ever purchased. This is the shade Adorn. So this is just the most beautiful shade of brown. It almost has, I don't even know how to explain it. It has almost like a gray, like a rosy gray undertone. Oh, and we're gonna go right over that funny little mark that I have on my hand. But can you see how it has this like beautiful undertone? I just think it goes so well with a lot of different shadows, and I think it gives you a really great opportunity to deepen up a look without using a black if you're not wanting to do that. These are just so pigmented. I feel like I'm causing a hot mess here. Y'all know I'm not known for having the most gorgeous swatches. Just deal with me here, all right? I really do love these two shades. Like I said, they were my first dip into Devinah mattes, and it's just been a love affair ever since. Now, I do have to say, I have received PR from Devinah. I do have a code with them. It's Keep Beauty Real, and it will save you 20%. Now, that code is not affiliated, so I don't earn anything from that. It's just me sharing my love with you, and also my love for saving money on great eyeshadows. But I do just want to let you know, I do have things that have been gifted to me, but these two are ones that I purchased. So getting into the next few shades, I have 3 other mattes here that I'm just gonna go right down the row with. I'm always looking for shades that I can add in that will either help soften a look or really help give me a neutral foundation. You know, sometimes I'm using a really colorful palette and I want something to just neutralize it a little bit, or maybe I'm using a palette that just needs something that's in like a lighter realm to be able to really blend out. So I wanted to pick 3 shadows that really kind of like run the gambit of tonality. So this first one is the shade Toffee from Sydney Grace. And of course, Sydney Grace is another one. I would say right now, Devinah and Sydney Grace are my top 2 matte formulas. I really love both. Toffee here has a, I would say like a caramely warm undertone. It's warm without being too orangey. I actually did have another shade that I had originally picked out, and it was just too, I don't want to say too limiting, but this one really, you know, kind of could run a gambit. So I really like this one. I think that maybe, if you can see here, I think I maybe had a little bit of Karma still left on my finger there, but I think it's pretty true to tone. So I really like that one. It is just like a beautiful, like camel tone. It just works with everything. So the next one in here is the shade Bake Sale from Makeup Geek. Now, I doubt this one is available anymore, but I did want to give my Makeup Geek shadows some glory. This is really almost like a neutrally with a very slight rosy, like almost like a peachy rose undertone to it. Again, I was just looking to sort of like run the gambit as far as undertones here. So I think this is gonna go really well when I just want something that's going to softly blur out anything that's in that like pink realm. You know, I think that this is gonna be really good when I'm looking to soften out anything that's in that pink realm, even in the peach realm, sometimes when I wanna like neutralize a look a little bit and it is just more on the cool side of things. So then I felt like I wanted to add in a soft, cool gray undertoned shade because I really think that this can help blend out purples, blues, taupes, those types of shades, and it's just a good one to have on hand at all times. So this is the shade Enjoy the Ride, and again, this is another Sydney Grace. So you can see it's a neutral that has just that like gray undertone with almost like a bit of khaki to it. Like when I look at this, I feel like it's a gray brown green. Oh, that was a horrible swatch. Let's go ahead and do this one more time. So here you can see it is this like, has a little bit of everything tone. It has some brown, it has some gray, I see some green, but now when I like blended it out here, I almost feel like you can see more of that taupe that almost leans into a purple. So it's a lot of things, which is exactly what you need in a companion palette, because everything in here, I wanted to be able to go with a lot of different colors. And I think that Enjoy the Ride really hits that mark. All right, let's take some bets. Who thinks I can fit 6 more swatches on this arm? I think we can do it. I believe in myself. Oh no, we have 7. All right, we'll see. So if you are not new to my channel, you will know how I talk a lot about palettes that don't have a bright inner corner. It's something that I need all the time. It's what makes me feel confident when I'm doing my own makeup. And also these can be shades that serve as beautiful, quick and easy lid shades as well, right? So a lot of this next set sort of serve that purpose. And again, I was looking for all different tonalities. So this first one is going to be from Pretties for Your Face, and this is the shade Fra-gee-lay. I have just found that I've been reaching for this one quite a bit. I have quite a few shades from Pretties for Your Face, and this is one that has definitely been getting a lot of use because it leans a little bit peach, but it also has almost like a little bit of a gold to it. I really do like this. It's really great just packed on the inner corner, but I could see this being a nice soft lid shade as well. I think that if you do it all over the lid, if you want a lot of intensity, you would need to do it either with a glitter glue or with like a wet brush. But I mean, look how pretty that is. It's just very bright. I do enjoy that one. And while we're on Pretties for Your Face, I'm gonna go into this next one. And by the way, I did not plan, I know that I'm announcing my 2 shades with Pretties for Your Face, but I literally did not plan to have so many Pretties for Your Face shades in here. I just find that I do have quite a few that work really well on the inner corner. I've had this one in another palette, I do believe. This is the shade Cham Cham from Hello, Pretties for Your Face. This one is definitely in the pink or pearly region. It has a lot of that, you know, cool undertone, and it's a little bit icy, but I like that this isn't so icy that it looks like completely white or chalky. But wow, look at that. It almost looks silver here, but it really does have a pink undertone to it. But bam, I tell ya. All right, this next one is not a Pretties for Your Face shadow. This is from Glam Shop, and this is Splash. I use this shade a lot. This is one that I've put in a lot of different little palettes when I'm traveling. It's one that I know that I'll get a lot of use out of. Splash is definitely a warmer shade. It's I would say it's a nude that leans a little bit more yellow or like into that very soft nude gold. It's not like a goldy gold. I honestly don't usually like something that's true gold on my inner corner. It just ends up being a little too much unless I'm doing like a deep smoky look and I feel like I can use that contrast. These might be looking like similar right now. When I do the close-ups, you'll be able to see that they really are different tones. I can definitely see here that like this is more peachy, this is more rosy, and then this one leans into more of that like yellow white gold, if you will. All right, I also wanted to add in 2 more unique fun shades that again, I could use as inner corner pops, or I could throw these on the lid. So the first one, and I'm glad to be putting a Clionadh shade into here because honestly, I just have not been reaching for my Clionadh shades all that much. I don't know why, it's just not something that I've been drawn to use. And actually, oh, I think both of these are Clionadh. This one is actually one of the stained glass. This is the shade Flicker. I don't even know why I'm showing you this pan because I'm sure you're not even gonna be able to see it. So this shade is definitely more of that like satin feeling multi-chrome. It isn't iridescent, so it has that like lighter, almost see-through white base, but this has a very pretty like red gold amber shift to it. And again, I feel like this is one that you might not really be able to see the magic of until I get up close. I promise I will make sure to get the lighting correct so that we can all enjoy that together. But I'm excited to have a couple Clionadh shades in here because I just haven't been using them enough. And while this has a really fun shift to it, it isn't so strong. It isn't so sparkly that I can't use it in like everyday looks, if you will, whatever the heck that means. You all know that I've been known to wear all sorts of colors all over my face all the time, but I do think that it'll be nice to have something with like a softer option in here. So now for something with a little bit of kick, a little bit of fun. This is one of the round pans, the circle pans. I can't remember what Clionadh calls them, but this is a duochrome. And if you can see here, this is this icy sagey color. This is Eye of Newt. I think this is a pretty popular one from the circle pans. This obviously is a duochrome that has a, like I said, I mean, it's a green, but it's almost like a sagey celery shade. Oh, we are definitely running out of room here. Should have tried to get these a little bit closer to each other. So this one, it has this sagey celery, almost like a little bit of mint because the shift of it does have a little bit of that blue cast to it. I just thought this would be really fun. You know, sometimes even if I had like a neutrals palette and I wanted to pull out like a fun little pop for the inner corner, this would be great. I could put it on the lid. It would be really pretty. Just a nice fun little option. And you all know that green makes me very happy. You know what else makes me really happy? Getting to share with you my brand new shades. Let's go ahead and do that right now. So I've already filmed footage of big fat juicy swatches on my hands to be able to show you and showcase the magic of these shades. So first I'm just gonna do mini swatches so you can kind of see this palette all together. I want to say that Meg from Pretties for Your Face was so awesome in creating these shades because we were talking about what I was really looking for in my shade, and I really had like a lot of ideas that I sort of wanted to combine together. And if you know me, in fact, I just talked about this in that other BYOP video. I talked about loving a beautiful like rosy brownie copper shade. It just makes me feel really good. It makes me feel confident. I think it looks good on so many different eye colors, so many different skin tones. So I really wanted to create my version of that. And so I had sent her some inspo. She had actually sent me a prototype and I was like, oh my gosh, this shade is so beautiful. It just needs to be warmer. It just needs a little bit more rosiness. But the thing is I fell in love. I fell so in love with the first prototype shade that once I got the second prototype and she had like hit it on the head, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is it. But I had to ask her, do you think there's any way we could use both of these, that we could launch these together? Because I think that they make the perfect nearly neutral set. And I think that it's that neutral with a little bit of something something that makes it very special. And she said she would do that. So I'm very thankful. So thank you so much. Now, if you've had a chance to work with my other two shades, Lovelies and Lovespin, that I helped to create, you will know that it was very important to me to have a very smooth, silky, buttery shadow. And that was, again, what I was looking for texturally. I really like a smooth, silky shadow. I didn't want anything with a lot of glitter. I didn't want anything that had any flakiness. And again, I think we really hit it out of the park with this formulation. So if you've enjoyed the texture of those shadows, I think you'll really enjoy both of these. All right, so enough backstory on that, but I did just want to share how these came to be. So I don't know which one to share with you first. Okay, I'm gonna share with you the second shade, the one that was like my dream shadow. So this is the shade Virgo. And if you did not know, I am a Virgo. I am very proud to be a Virgo, and I really do relate with a lot of the known traits and characteristics of a Virgo. I was looking for, like I said, the most beautiful, like rosy, coppery brown, somewhat neutral, but with a little something special. It is the shade that I have on my lids. I really do enjoy this. And you know, being an earth sign, anytime there are like zodiac themed or astrological sign themes within, you know, the beauty world, I feel like Virgo is always super boring. It's always this like, you know, kind of blasé, far too basic color story. And, you know, a lot of times it ends up being this like boring brown or something like really like meh. And I wanted something that, you know, Virgos could be proud of. Like, I think that this is, yes, it is a beautiful classic standby shade, but it is also something very, very special. So I'll give you like a little finger swatch here so you can see. I mean, can you see? You'll definitely be able to see in the fat juicy swatches, as we're calling them. I'll actually go ahead and show you that here as I'm talking. This has a beautiful neutral base to it, like a beautiful rich cocoa shade, but the shine and sheen on it is that combination of a beautiful rosy tone, a copper. It's like a little bit of everything. And I think that's what makes it wonderful. I think that's what makes it so versatile. Like, I just feel like, I mean, you can pair it with almost any of these shades in here and really have a beautiful look. It's so juicy. So thank you so much. So again, this shade is Virgo. I hope I make all of my fellow Virgos out there proud. If you're a Virgo, let me know if you like this shade. I really hope that you do. So if maybe you don't like that shade because maybe it's a little too warm for you, I think that this one is going to be the one for you. This shade is The Maiden, which if you're not aware, this is sort of the representation of Virgo. So she is always known as either like the Maiden or the Virgin, and I love this shade. I was telling Meg that I think that like taupe is having such a moment right now, and this is, again, it's like that nearly neutral. It is a taupey shade that is a mix of a beautiful neutralized base. It's like a little bit more of that cool toned brown, like almost like a gray brown, but then the shift on this, and hopefully you'll be able to see that when I show you the big fat juicy swatches. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Maiden, you're getting like the worst area here. So you can see here that it's much more cool toned, but it really does have this beautiful sheen to it. I don't want to say it's shifty because it's not really like duochromatic, but it has a beautiful sheen over the top of the base. I mean, in some lights it looks silvery, in some lights it looks rosy. Again, it has that like taupey, almost purple tone to it. So if you are a cool tone shadow lover, I think that you are really going to enjoy the Maiden. And if you're like me and you like all the shades, I think you'll like them both. So hopefully you enjoy these shades. I know that I am really excited. I'm so excited to have these. So I hope that the big fat juicy swatches helped you. Oh, I probably should tell you the details about these shadows. So like I said, I do believe that these shadows should be going up this Friday. If I hear otherwise, I will let you know. If they aren't up on Friday, I again will like announce it the minute they're available. Meg just wasn't quite sure. I do believe that these are going to be $5 shadows. They won't be in the polymorph category. They will be part of the regular category. You can also use my code, which is Keep Beauty Real. I will let you know that when you use my code, I do earn credit towards other Pretties for Your Face items. So thank you so much. If you do choose to use that, you will save 20% on top of sale prices even. So if you catch this during a sale, the brand has a lot of like buy one, get one free, buy one, get one half off, like all sorts of fun deals. So again, I always try to announce those on Instagram when I do see them come up. Okay, now that I've gotten that out of the way, I'll give you the up close look at these swatches, and then I will show you the look that I've created here today. I was standing so far in front of my microphone for this, so it did not pick up, but I just wanted to zoom in on these three shades that I put in for the inner corner. Hopefully here you can see the shift difference between the peach, the rosy pink, and then that more yellow gold shade or white gold. And then there's that Clionadh iridescent shifty shade, and of course the beautiful like celery minty green. And then at the end there you do have Virgo and the Maiden. I'm kinda new with apologies. Holding back, I got history, yeah. But the way you've been crossing the line, oh, it's something in me that says it's fine. Hoping you wouldn't change me. Got the same old thoughts, be my referee. I will be alright, never cut it bite, but somehow you make me change. Like I'm better off with you. Like I'm better off with you. Kinda used to these battlegrounds where you flee, you don't stick around, no. But the way you've been giving me time, the same old thoughts, be my referee. I will be alright, never cut it right, but somehow you make me change. Like I'm better off. All right, lovelies, thank you so much for hanging out with me for this BYOP today. I hope you enjoyed getting to see my companion palette. I would love to know, what are the shades that you are always looking for in your palettes? What is the shade that you just tend to find missing from a palette? I really recommend, if you have a lot of singles, maybe go ahead and put together your own little companion palette. Maybe that will help you not only get use out of your single shadows, but it'll also help you get use out of the eyeshadow palettes that you already own. And thank you so much for letting me share with you my 2 new shadows with Pretties for Your Face. Again, feel free to use my code Keep Beauty Real. It will work on just about everything on the site. Again, that's 20% off even on top of sales. I love getting a good deal. There are a lot of Pretties for Your Face shadows that I really enjoy. A few of them are in here, obviously. And I just want to give you all a big thank you. It's because of all of you that I was even given this opportunity to be able to create these shades. I do want to be upfront and let you know there's no monetary compensation for the shades that I created. The only way I get compensated is if you use my code, and then I get to use that to purchase more Pretties for Your Face to be able to show all of you. All right, that is going to be it for today. Again, I will have everyone else that joins in on this month's BYOP, the Pick Me Up palette. I will have their videos linked down below. I will also have my video that went up last week linked down below. Thank you all so much. I will see you really soon.